Hello everyone, it is me, GamePass21, and today, well, I wanted to talk about Call of Duty on Game Pass. And no, I'm not going to go over the Dreamcast guy video, and yes, I do see you there, PlayStation Conference. I'm recording this on the actual day, so I haven't seen it, and this is way before the actual conference begins. But yes, I will create a SOP video on that, but it's going to have to be a Tuesday video. I'm only one person, please give me time. But obviously, yes, that will have to have its own video because obviously people are going to do that. There's also some people doing some predictions for some of the stuff, so I'm going to save that for the next video as I don't want to have the predictions in this one because it's going to be very weird to compare it to that without having to compare it to the actual conference. So I will save that and I'll show you that when that happens. But anyway, today there was a lot of people on the discussion about Game Pass and Call of Duty. And how Call of Duty itself also was bad because they didn't want to make more money off of it, which makes no sense to me because if you have Call of Duty for a cheaper price, more people would probably buy it. It's almost like if you lower the price of something, the more people that you are willing to pay for that thing. It's like, what do people understand here? But obviously, several different people had so much to say on this. But, I mean, yeah. Again, I'm not going to go over the Dreamcast guy video. Everyone's already done that, but I wanted to talk about some more smaller takes on several different types of tweets that I saw because I prefer to actually do the Twitter stuff rather than do the video stuff because the video stuff takes a little bit more time out of my day. But in any case, be sure to like, comment, favorite, subscribe as well. And, looking to hit 1K subscribers, links down to everything in the description below. With that being said, let's get started real quick. Of course, starting off with Xbox with Japan hates Xbox here, or Project Latitude. I don't even know what that is. Starting off strong with a hashtag Call of Duty Black Ops 6. One-time purchase on PS5 of $70. 1 month of X-Flop Welfare Pass, $15. 5 months of X-Flop Welfare Pass, $75. So if you plan to play COD for past February 2025, you're better off just buying the game. Not exactly sure what a broke gamers on Xbox are celebrating. Yeah, because it's totally not a different upfront payment, and you're actually paying more for the actual game up front in terms of $70, which is still very fucking egregious. That's not the flex that you think it is to pay $70 for Call of Duty or anything like that. Now, again, I'm not sure if that math actually checks out because $15 times 5 months, does that actually equal 75? I'm unsure. I just know that 2 months is 30, so 2, 4, 6, 3, 6, 9. Yeah, so about 90 in terms of 6 months. So I guess 5 months and 75 makes sense. But you are paying, again, that amount not just for Call of Duty, but for a bunch of other games as well. So it's like, still not that expensive. And yeah, certainly it's for a specific group of people, but it's mainly there to increase a different chain of revenue. Plus you can still also buy it on the actual console, so it's like, people keep forgetting that. But of course Japan hates Xbox has that. And then Darius Fears here has, which subscription service is better? This picture should easily tell you. And this kind of also frequents the duality of man here, where some people are like, oh, Xbox Game Pass is garbage because it's increasing the price and it's going to go to Black Ops 6, yet the State of Play as well as PlayStation Plus in June has things like a SpongeBob SquarePants game, Fast Forever or Fight Forever, and another game that I can't even recognize, but I don't recognize the box art. So it's like, good job, PlayStation. Also, all of those games you could purchase before that as well. So it's, yeah. But anyway, next up we have Jay here, or True Gamer, as he calls himself, saying, I'm hoping this is a big loss of revenues that kills the service and is not good for gaming. Ah, yes, because putting on one of the biggest games onto a subscription service means that game is going to lose you revenue and not, in fact, make up for certain lacks in specific areas that Call of Duty has been kind of, going down. It's very, very interesting. But then, if you think that he's not serious, by the way, he actually doubled down in the response to this, in that I know it won't be immediate, but but I want this to be the beginning of the end for Retail Pass. Really? Really? Because Call of Duty is on Game Pass means that it's going to go down in wantability, or like the market. Again, I'm not sure this is correct, but moving on. Next up here we have Online Inquisitor here with Welfare Pass is in fact cancer. The longer it lingers, the worse it will be for everyone, especially for the consumers. And, of course, this is also retweeting that J tweet from earlier. And this is not, of course, the only sentiment here. Continuing on, we have an alley with people who pretend services like Game Pass or PlayStation subscription services are bad for gamers are full of shit. So many people simply can't afford games nowadays, and these services give people a chance to play old and new games at a manageable price. And yeah, most definitely. Yes, certainly, it might be bad for the longevity of specific games, and it might cut into specific sales, but at the end of the day, options is never a bad thing. For me, and for me specifically, I just have preferred more indie games than anything else. In fact, some of the most recent games in my rotation as of right now are games like X Defiant and The Finals. Both of those games are free to play. One of those games I've actually spent quite a bit of money on because I love that game and I want us to support the developers. And yeah, certainly. Oh no, microtransactions are bad. It's like, yeah, but it's a free to play game and I wanted to support the developers because they're an indie studio and they're kind of self-publishing it and they're doing a lot of the good stuff that I want them to do. So, support the people you want to support in the end of the day. You want to get Game Pass for Call of Duty? Go right ahead and get Game Pass for Call of Duty. I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm not saying that it's good either. I'm just saying that it's an option. And options, again, are never necessarily a bad thing. Unless it's like the trolley experiment, which is very odd. But even that still has like a correct answer. Next up here, we have David Wilder, who is kind of responding to Jay's earlier comment here, saying, just because you don't get it on your preferred service doesn't mean it's bad for gamers. When saying, Jay comes here with saying, I don't play games on service. I don't play on games services. And let's take a quick look at that Twitter bio right there. Gamer, mostly on PlayStation. Movie lover, follow me, I follow you back. Gamer, mostly PlayStation. So you don't buy games on a service, right? You don't play games on a service or anything like that. Yet you are here touting yourself as a PlayStation gamer when PlayStation has PlayStation Plus, which you have to pay for to get the services of online games that are not free to play. Wow. Anyway, some more Jay responses in the comments here with saying that you make 0 sense. This is just a different person. You say you want them to go back to creating exclusives, but not even then, no one was buying their console. Selling the most consoles isn't the formula today. Anytime someone buys their titles or subs to their service, they buy Xbox. Which, again, very fair criticism, and actually very true. People keep forgetting that there's a thing called a market shift, which happens in, like, stuff. I keep mentioning this and bringing this up, but to bring it to a more specific degree, whenever there's a big market, like, change or something, it's usually called a market shift, and that's when the market goes from one type of thing to another type of thing. But Jay comes back and responds with, people bought the Xbox 360 and its exclusives, right? Make good exclusives and the gamers will start to come. Yes, please do use like a 10, 11, 13-year-old console right now. When did the Xbox 360 come out? Like 2006? Yeah, use that as your console. Use a 20-year-old console as a method to justify that. That's a great thing. It's great. absolutely for world class. I'm betting that some people, like, they're not even old enough to remember or even have or owned an Xbox 360 at this point. Next up here is Mega Mom's Bear. Sorry that I cut this off a little bit. The screenshot button went weird. Saying, if you love hashtag PlayStation and want to help them get back at Microsoft, cancel your Call of Duty pre-order. Don't buy COD anymore. Target Xbox with your wallet. We can make sure Microsoft wasted billions. Yes. Because that's going to help your case when, again, Call of Duty also makes PlayStation money. You know, when you buy Call of Duty on PlayStation's network, PlayStation gets a 30% cut. So if you hurt Microsoft, if you want to hurt Microsoft in this context, you also hurt PlayStation, which is the funniest thing. It's kind of like a catch-22. It's either you buy COD and support PlayStation, the network that you're on, with the 30% cut that they receive, as well as any of the microtransactions and stuff that you get in there, or you don't buy COD and hurt both companies. It's like, oh, I'm going to bring down them with me. It's like, oh, well, they could make it up with exclusive numbers. No. They said so themselves. Whoops. Next up here, we have Call of Duty, or we have Luke with a Call of Duty should collab with Google Maps and let players design maps around their own neighborhoods. 6v6 search and destroy in your local boozer would revive the franchise entirely. Now, this one I wanted to highlight because this was one of those things that you kind of go when you go down a very interesting rabbit hole. Just to bring up some interesting points in like video game history. One kid I think got like expelled and maybe put on like some sort of list or something because he recreated his school like verbatim in Counter-Strike, if I remember correctly. This was back when like video games were far more like, oh, they cause violence and stuff. So I don't know if this would happen today, but that person still got in very, very deep shit because of that. So being able to produce it for their own network, it would not only be a marketing fucking nightmare, but it would also get maybe most of the local governments as well as several other investigations into that. So no, don't do this unless you want to get found out and maybe put on some sort of list. So, you know, just wanted to highlight that. Very interesting tidbit in history. Next up, we have a P90 The Reaper with Random Thought. The other side saying, this is the fall of COD, Xbox, etc. If this is actually stunningly good, people will Game Pass it, keep it, battle passes, and even more buy content event. The money saved will turn into money spent. And again, that's very true. To again use my own example, the games that I play right now are free to play. Again, the one big free to play game that I'm in right now is again the finals. I keep touting that. I need to produce my fucking wish list for the next season, which will probably come out next Saturday. But again, just as a random thought, yeah, people will Game Pass it and people will keep it because you do get actually a 10% like discount or something. So you're actually paying $60. Or you're actually paying like probably $70 still, but you might get more of a discount or something like that. Again, it's like the money saved will turn into money spent, and that's what people are doing. If you lower the barrier to entry in terms of value, people are more willing to spend money. That's why I have a bunch of cool cosmetics in the finals and stuff. It's just fun to me. Anyway, next up here we have Mental Health Matters Adam with a very interesting username saying, so Xbox fans basically get to play it for free. I'm not going to start a console war because everyone is a bunch of children, but it feels like Xbox don't want money. And it wasn't just him that had this actual sentiment. As we can see here by some of these other ones, from Enrique, we have Microsoft really said, how do we make monetization in COD even worse? With some guy going, Xbox dumb, they would have made more money if it wasn't day one. And Michael here with that Xbox Game Pass has increased by $2 announcement right before the Black Ops 6 launch is going to hit like crack. And Two Fork Kingster says, hey, by the way, Microsoft closed down 4 studios in like 2 weeks. And I think SSDD here kind of resembles like all the sentiment of that a lot of people seem to have right now is that Game Pass is legit killing Xbox and they don't even care. Whamp, whamp. People just need to understand that, again, there is a market shift happening, and clearly Xbox and Microsoft are trying to get ahead of the curve because they realized that they were too ahead of the curve in the Xbox One era. or they thought that they just needed to make like a pretty cool console that wasn't as powerful but could do a lot of things, but didn't produce any games for it. In fact, I don't remember that many Xbox exclusives during that generation. And that was also the generation that I switched to PC, and quite frankly, I am happy that I came to PC because I don't have to worry about this anymore, worry about anything. I get all the games that I want, and a lot of them are actually cool and free in some cases, and I get them actually cheaper, so oops. But to kind of cap off this section, there is one more little thing that I wanted to talk about, and that is, well, the Red Dragon here, to kind of cap off this section of the video, I guess, with a how bad is it when Xbox fans are celebrating because Microsoft intends to keep their promise, when they've been lied to so much that you're happy when promises are kept. Call of Duty 6 reportedly set to launch straight onto Game Pass, as well as launch everywhere else to be bought on other consoles and other locations. Yes. I mean, you can kind of just literally spin this back around and say you've been lied to when you've been lied to so much that you're happy when when promises are kept. You mean like the promises that Sony seems to be kind of trying to keep, at least in some cases. I mean, where is that awesome 4K, 8K gaming type deal? Where is it, Dragon? Where is it, the Red Dragon? Where is it? Doesn't exist. What about that 60 FPS? How do you enjoy that? Yeah. To kind of, again, cap off this, to go into, like, speaking of Sony, to the next little list section here, we have Harman Holst, the soon-to-be CEO of Sony PlayStation's business, addresses PC Day 1 live service games will come day and date to PS5 and PC, but single-player narrative games are designed to... on PC are designed to then entice the PC owners to play the sequels on PlayStation console, meaning that they're most probably going to continue to do what they do, at least with their single-player games, which a lot of people seem to assume, but again, a lot of people also didn't think that. And in short, that's going to maybe hurt them in the long run, as I've seen some people talk about. Unsure, but of course, with this little announcement here, Japan hates Xbox then comes in swinging with no PC day and date confirmed by Sony. Fuck you, PC user. Ah ha 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 ha. With, of course, the good old laughing one. With another message from Pure PlayStation saying, message from yesterday's Sony presser. Greatness awaits. Hype for at the state of play. Want to play AAA game as single-player games? Just play at a PS5. No, I think I'll pass. But let's actually take a look at what he officially said, since it's a very short clip. I'm going to interrupt it a little bit just so it's a little bit of copyright stuff. But let's just listen to what he actually says here.
Indeed, we are bringing our titles to the PC platform, and we have a dual approach here. On the live service side, we are releasing our titles simultaneously, so day and date on PlayStation 5 and PC. But with our tentpole titles, our single-player or narrative-driven titles that are, as you saw in the presentation, the backbone of what PlayStation Studios has delivered in recent years and in our history, we take a more strategic approach and we introduce our great franchises to new audiences. And we're finding new audiences that are potentially going to be very interested in playing, for example, sequels on the PlayStation platform.
I find this a little bit, quote, interesting because, again, it basically just says there's no PC day and date for single-player games, but for the other, like, live service games, which they do actually want to implement, again, they do say we're going to release those day and date. How is this a bad thing? And yes, certainly, some people might be enticed to get the sequels and stuff, but again, if you can't get the console people or them with the actual titles before, I don't think that they're going to actually purchase them now. As, again, Sony seems to have said this now, but this is apparently supposed to be over the next 10 years. Maybe a little bit of cap, but at the end of the day, I don't know if this plan is going to 100% stick, depending on various aspects here. But again, we'll finish out this clip, and then we'll end off the video.
We have high hopes that we're actually able to bring new players into PlayStation at large, but into PlayStation platforms specifically. Actually, the same goes for the work that we do with extending our great properties onto other media, such as television series and film, for example, as you have seen with The Last of Us on HBO or Gran Turismo, the film, that brings in new players into our franchises as well.
I don't think that that's true, by the way. Just like the whole thing with the movies and the whole thing with the other stuff, I'm unsure if that's actually true. As, again, I would more or less want to see the numbers. I'm fairly certain it's true to some extent, but I'm not sure how true that actually is. But again, to kind of quote them, if you really want to get single-player games first, instead of maybe waiting like 1 to 2-ish years because you're impatient for some reason, then go right ahead and buy a PlayStation, I guess. To be quite honest with you, again, I've played some PlayStation exclusive games that came over to PC through ports and stuff, like Horizon and Spider-Man, which were good, but they weren't good enough to make me want to buy a PlayStation, speaking from personal experiences. But then again, that's just me personally. Of course, I don't think a lot of PC players will be going after this, and now that they've actually said the quiet part out loud, yeah, I think that less PC guys would actually be willing to do that. And again, with the success of Helldivers 2, it makes sense that they would make it for at least live service games, which I think most people seem to expect. But with the people saying like Day and Date was coming, unsure. But again, we're talking about the next 10 years, and in the next 10 years, like, the sun could blow up or something like that. That's not true. It's like over 1 billion years before that actually happens. But like, something can happen in the next 10 years that completely fucking shifts the market in a different direction. I don't know, maybe like putting Call of Duty on Game Pass for whatever reason. Kind of makes you wonder. But anyway, guys, if you liked what it is that I do and want to support me in any other way, shape, or form, a like, subscribe, and a links down to all of my socials in the description would be very helpful. I'm looking to hit 1K by the end of the year so I can answer some of your guys' comments and questions and stuff, which is the video that I have planned. I do love and support all of you because you are all great people and probably should be better than some of these other guys here. In any case, that's my time. Thank you so much for watching again. My name is GamePass21. Never be a fanboy, and a peace off.